right.
You're going? Looks like we're going. Awesome.
We are working on it. Why is this? This is always so complicated to do, and
I don't know. It says we're 20 seconds into live, so
yeah.
It showed it was live on mine.
There it goes.
There we go. All right.
It's the Joe Zone.
I want to be there. All right.
Nice. So, yeah, just for the record, if you guys are still looking for perfection, you probably ought to scroll on by because we're still learning. But that was actually excellent. So, yeah, that was a different start for tonight. And there's a reason for that because we're trying to accommodate a fellow collector who's got a project going. And we've got a time difference. So we're trying not to keep him out too late. Past his bedtime and whatnot, because you know how toy collectors get. They get a little cranky if they don't get their rest. So
it's because we're old.
Most of us actually are, yeah. Nice. So Dacre Bush is the creator of the video that you just saw, and he is tonight's 10 Hut. So a slightly modified 10 Hut because I know there's a lot that I'd like to be able to ask him, but I also want him to have the freedom to run and get all the details to his project out as quickly as he can and as complete as he can in the time that we've got allotted here. So how goes it, Dacre?
Going well.
Nice.
And getting excited. We've got a little less than a month left before the Kickstarter begins. So a lot of content creation right now and get everything ready for the Kickstarter we got going on. February 22nd. So
I watched your video before. I had the benefit of seeing it before, and you and I have chatted back and forth over the last couple of weeks, getting this whole thing scheduled and set up. Boy, there's tens of thousands of us that collect toys, but man, you are in an extreme minority that actually goes into design and production.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
I can imagine.
Yeah, we've been working on it for about 6 years, I think it is now.
6 years.
Yeah.
Did you do all your own engineering on this stuff, or did you have some help with that? Or
so we're working with right now. I have a production company that's called Power Kid Design.
Yep.
They're out of Tennessee, actually Tennessee or Alabama. They're one of the two.
Yep.
But they're actually helping us with all the production, the manufacturing, and with the engineering and like the design aspects. When we originally started, it was I hired a friend of mine, Calvin Lowe. He's a fellow collector and customizer. He does a lot of like the 1/6 scale stuff.
Yep.
I don't know if you ever seen like the Darth Revan, like they have like a custom Darth Revan that he did. He also
Yep.
did like a Kickstarter as well at one point. So, but yeah, he helped me with the original designs and then just kind of evolved from there. Just kind of hire people and just kept networking as much as I could.
Sure. Let's without getting too biblical, what's your source material for these characters?
So it comes from the Bible. So it's
Yep.
going to be they're action figures based on the Bible. It's the truth, the myth, the legend. And kind of with the first wave here, we're going to be kind of giving it like that wide brush stroke where we're going to be working with the 4 horsemen and the 3 archangels, along with more like legendary characters within the Bible. And and then once we get this established, we're going to start working with characters from the actual testaments, and then also notable heroes.
I think it's, from a personal standpoint, I have to tell you, the last time I saw anything action figure wise that was even remotely biblical based was, oh Lord, when my oldest was little, and we're talking 30 years ago now. There was a bookstore a couple towns over that we used to go to every once in a while, and they had, I'm guessing there was somewhere in the area in 3 3/4 disciple figures. They had like the 12 disciples and Jesus. And I have to be honest with you, and I don't think he'll be offended by me saying this, they were terrible.
Oh yeah.
These were not, they didn't sell well. What was your motive? What was your personal motivation for choosing this particular line to develop?
So I've grown up a Christian my whole life. Just I'm a journeyman. I'm a journey with God, and I went from Episcopalian to a Catholic, and I was part of the Knights of Columbus. And one of the knights there we were talking after one of the meetings where you saying, can you make my daughter a Joan of Arc figure? And I said, okay, I could try. And then he's like, but why don't they ever make good action figures for kids that are like Bible based? I was like, you're right, they don't. And that'd be something really, I think would be really cool to make, just have something that's collectible that pleases both, the seasoned collector, but also brings in the families that say, we want to have something that's good for the kids, that gives them sort of a good story, a good purpose to it, that has a good backing.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Not to interrupt, but
yeah,
on the subject, I tried to find it before the show, but I have the old Bible Man action figure.
Oh yeah,
it was about a 5.5 inch figure stuff. It wasn't horrible, but it was a long ways away from what you're going to produce. So.
Yeah. No, I'd forgotten about that.
And at one point, I think Kirk, I can't say his last name,
Cameron,
but worked at G.I. Joe, because of the B. But he once actually was starting an actual action figure Bible like characters as well at one point. But they were more like very much like, remember the True Heroes? I think that's what they're called. Like the firemen and like the policemen. I always saw them at like doctors' offices and stuff like that. But
yeah, they were more
chunky,
preschool oriented for smaller hands. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Whereas
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, boy, there's a ton of stuff here that runs through my mind. What do you collect personally that might have actually been an influence on?
I love G.I. Joe. That's always been my my brand. G.I. Joe, Transformers, and then Marvel Legends, and then going to like the new stuff with Boss Fight Studios, Marauders. I kind of like to dip my hat in pretty much anything that's really cool.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's true for most collectors, actually. Yeah.
But if I had to pick one, it'd be GI Joe and Transformers. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, so you're in that generation too, where you're
Yeah.
an '80s kid, and
Oh, yeah.
it made an impression, and an impression stick. So
Mm-hmm.
very cool. What scale are these going to be in?
So the scale right now, they're 1/12. There's actually one of the prototypes, but the thing is though, when you actually look at the figure itself, let's see if I get there. So like the dents and like the scratches that are on it are actually small, so that they would actually scale with a 4-inch figure because they're celestial. So celestial being would have been like a 10-foot tall, like giant compared to a 6-foot tall person.
Right.
So with a 4-inch figure could scale with it. And part of what I'm trying to do is please also the customizer with the wings, where if you look at the lower wings, which are the more kind of like a stationary wing, those will actually, if you wanted to Dremel like a Boss Fight Studio figure, you could actually fit these wings in them.
Nice.
I got right here,
your other right.
The other right. But yeah, so these ones will actually fit right into the figure.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That wing articulation that I just saw, that was considerably different than anything I've seen before.
Yeah, I drew originally we were working kind of like to make it look like jungle vipers with like the pegs and the holes, but with the prototypes they just kept snapping. So I redesigned it so they actually will fold up, and then they also will envelop as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. That forward articulation is really cool. Yeah, that's actually very unique. I haven't seen anything like that in a winged figure before.
Of course, these are the prototypes, so they're going to be a lot more flexible.
Yeah,
not as more rigid, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. So, how long are you going to run your Kickstarter for?
The Kickstarter is going to go for 45 days.
Okay.
Part of the reason I picked February 22nd is actually the first day of Lent.
Yep.
So, hence the save up for 45 days.
Nice.
Yeah. So we're gonna do for 45 days during Lent, and then right after Easter, it should hopefully be successful. And then we're looking at knock on wood production to be like probably the following Easter for. I mean, I dream of having it under the tree at Christmas, but I know that that's not going to happen, especially with.
Well, you never know. I mean, it could blow up on you quickly, and be positive. We just don't know.
I mean, the lucky thing is I have the production company to kind of help back me with everything.
Sure.
Where it's not like I'm going in and trying to find a manufacturer on my own and all that disaster. I've hired the right people, I think, to kind of guide me and get everything together. We have all the numbers. We're all ready to go. It's just a matter of me building content right now to get the following going. So.
Are you? I mean, I have to ask because this has come up a lot of times in discussion about the G.I. Joe Classified series not having any media backing at this point. There's no animation. The comic is on hold again.
Mm-hmm.
No movies. Other than of course the long-standing source material. Have you got any plans for any type of comics or any kind of fiction?
There is. Yeah, I have a plan. I'm trying to put together. There's that's actually that's one of the trading cards. We're doing a trading card set. So on the other side of things we're doing is called Almighty Collectibles, and that's what that's going to help us do is any merchandise that we sell at shows and online, the proceeds are all going to go to our local food bank and homeless outreach program. Yep. So I'm working right now on, again, the trading card set. They're all going to be kind of like an upper deck, Fleer, like gold foil.
Cool.
Characters. And then also I have, I'm working with actual published artists that are doing trading cards as well that we're going to sell those like artist proofs, I call them.
Nice.
And then working on a graphic novel idea right now as well.
Yeah, I think, again, apart from, the Bible source material, I think a lot of other collectors have the same opinion that some type of media to go along with action figures is almost critical, especially at startup like this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this, and I've been looking at it for the last week or so. And I mean, I really want to see this succeed personally, beyond my own Christianity,
Yeah.
and what my faith means to me in my walk with Christ. I can see these. I can see these actually being. Well, I can see them being pretty important to some kids,
Yeah.
because I think. Well, I think some parents are pretty standoffish when it comes to secular toys for their kids.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of kids kind of get left out because of that. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing all the time. Don't get me wrong. It's not a criticism of parents. That's just a, if they had a different outlet for this for their children, I think that could be really, really important.
And part of what we're doing too is we're in the Kickstarter, we're actually going to be doing blank figures as well. So kids can actually like create their own angels and dredge, as we call them,
Nice.
which are the bad guys. We call them either they have the heralds and the dredge.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how does that work? How do one of those figures work? They're just a generic
they'll-
buck.
Yeah, generic buck, and then we're gonna. One thing we love is translucents, so it's gonna be We'll have some translucent figures, and then we'll have armor packs, head packs, wing packs, and weapons packs as well. And then you can basically create your own.
Sure.
If you want to make your own 4 horsemen to look one way, and then your Gabriel, your Azrael, or Raphael to look a different way. It's up to you.
We just got a comment that comes in, and I can see. I'm curious about this question too, but I can see where it could be problematic.
So with Lucifer, what he's the character, it's an eventual stretch goal where it's like I don't want to put him out right away.
Right.
But he is in the. I mean, the thing that I've learned in college was that there was a college course called "The Death of All Evil" and the Death of Satan, and that if we don't recognize that there is an evil presence out there, it will just keep living our lives in a way that evil just surrounds us and we just keep going.
Right.
So what I'm trying to do is Lucifer is the accuser, so kind of built based on Milton's Paradise Lost.
Yeah,
where he's there. He's a fallen angel. His character design, the way I'm kind of designing it, is he's going to have like sort of a burnt armor, and his wings will be broken.
Yeah, cool.
So, but yes,
I think
plan for it if we need it. Yeah,
it certainly. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be the first time Lucifer or Satan, for that matter, whichever name you want to use, had been represented in plastic. I know McFarlane. There you go. That was my prerequisite, McFarlane, for the week. Through the Spawn line. I mean, that definitely showed up. They must have done a Mephisto for the Marvel Legends by now.
Yeah.
It's certainly not the first time that he's been represented, but I actually appreciate your angle on that, because it keeps the character in line with who he actually is, broken wings and like that, we're not going to get some big OP character. It's just, you know what I'm saying. I mean, it doesn't need to be glorified in any ways, but representation, I think, is fair and makes sense. Interesting. Very interesting. So are you in a place where you can discuss what the specifics of your campaign are going to be?
Sure. Yeah, I can discuss some stuff. Yeah. Like as far as for like costs and stuff like that, or what we have.
What are your tiers? And,
so our tiers right now,
structured?
For the initial goal is going to be around 96,000.
Okay.
For 96,000, that kind of covers the at least we'll cover the first figure, which will be Azrael. That figure, Azrael's going to start with the end, and you end up with the beginning type thing.
Sure.
Azrael will be the first one. So at 96,000, that will get us 3,000 units, is what we call like the MOQ, the minimum order quantity, where China has to have a certain amount that they need
Sure.
to be able to produce it. So 3,000 is my number for them. But in order to get to 3,000, I need to get around $96,000 to start it.
Right.
But that also gives me now the tooling included in that 96,000 to have tooling for both Azrael and Gabriel.
Okay. Yeah.
I have
Makes sense.
for right now.
Right.
And the nice thing, what I'm trying to do is that all the figures are going to be on a standard style buck, and then all the armor pieces are removable.
Sure.
So the tooling isn't. So once we have the tooling for like the body, then it's more focusing on the tooling for armor pieces.
Right. Right.
So then after 96,000, then we go another like 37,000 to get to Gabriel, and that will get us Gabriel. And then we're gonna start doing like the accessory packs, and then in between we'll do the additional figures as well.
Right. Yeah, I'm
that
curious. I'd be really curious to see. I'd be really curious to see your campaign.
Yeah.
To
Excited.
see what are your how are you doing this one? I have to be honest with you. I was involved in one Kickstarter campaign a long time ago, and it was structured in donate X, X number of dollars, and this is what you get for your investment. And of course, the incentives went up from there. Is that how yours is going to be structured?
Pretty much, yeah. So you have like the figures themselves are discounted to a price where it's basically I'm selling it directly to the consumer.
Sure.
Versus Big Bad Toy Store, who's also wants to get involved as well.
Nice.
They would sell it at like a retail price.
Sure.
So I'm selling, they buy it from me at wholesale costs, and they sell it to retail. Where the consumer on Kickstarter is just buying it at straight up, discounted retail price.
Right.
Because the only thing, and then shipping, then you pay for your shipping. And then I think I'm working right now. We have what's called the all-in. So basically all in, you get like 10 figures, the accessories, everything. And I'm trying to make it so the cost is going to be about 400 or under 400 for the all in.
Oh, that's not terrible at all. And the total number of figures in that all in is what?
It's going to be about 10 figures and then about 5 accessory packs.
Yeah, that's actually amazing.
So fingers crossed that we're going to be able to get that done.
That's actually amazing. 10 figures and 5 accessory packs you're talking about a $400.
$400, yeah. Again, it's
Wow.
we have to get that goal.
Well, yeah, but still, I mean, that should be obtainable, because that's actually pretty impressive. I don't know what I wouldn't know where to actually put a dollar amount on the accessory packs, but I mean, just looking at the figures, I mean, $40 a figure for figures on this level. These are produced in number, but they're not mass produced. If you understand what I'm saying there,
yeah.
There's a big difference between a 3,000 unit run, as far as quality control and everything else that you'll have to keep track of, versus one that they're running 100,000 of.
Right.
I
mean,
that's actually pretty amazing.
Is that because it's going to be a limited run,
yes,
the value will only go up from there. So
nice.
If it's
is this your first plunge into doing
on
your
my
own
own?
figure line?
Yes. Yeah. But I've been involved a lot with like different Kickstarters, watching the ones that that they're successful, the ones that are failed, and just I'm trying to learn from them as well. Like I reach out to them to say, what do you think you could have changed, or how what do I need to look out for my own, and just getting a lot of good feedback on trying to get everything prepared. Where before I was going to actually launch this like around Christmas, but I was told that's like Kickstarter hell right there, because it's nobody has the money, nobody's really in the Kickstarter at that point. Whereas if you have it in spring,
February is perfect because a lot of people get their income tax back.
Yeah,
February,
exactly.
March. I don't know why Hasbro ain't figured that out yet.
yeah.
For real.
Yeah, that's a whole discussion for another time, isn't it? No, I got to tell you, my friend, you have actually bitten off a lot more than I would even consider. I honestly wouldn't even know where to begin. So props for that. That's amazing. I'm very, very impressed with what I'm seeing.
Oh, thank you.
Again, apart from my own personal faith concerning the subject matter, I'm actually very impressed with what I'm seeing here. This is pretty amazing. But I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the camera tonight. I'm actually looking at pictures, and I think we can do reminders frequently between now and the 22nd of February
That'd be awesome.
to see if we can stir up some interest, because, geez, I can't imagine we don't have a bunch of guys right around here that wouldn't be interested.
Cool. Yeah, we're I'm working on an Instagram giveaway. I'm sure it's the wrong thing to do, but I figure I'd do it anyways. That
Wow.
trying to drum up the 1,000 follower type thing. So
Sure.
what I've learned is you have to have at least 1,000 followers to kind of get kind of a little bit of establishment there.
Mhm.
So we're doing this little giveaway here with a couple of posters. Those are two of the artists, Rich Woodall and Joseph Schmelke. They're two local comic book artists here. I don't know if you know, like Super 7 or the Phantom Star Killer.
Yeah.
He did the fam in there, and then Azrael's Rich Woodall, and then we have some action figures thrown in there, a couple of gift cards.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sit here kind of dumbfounded, but I'm super impressed with this whole thing. I really am, and I've been collecting for almost 50 years, and I've seen a lot of stuff come and go. The rest of the guys sitting here, pretty much so in the same boat. Maybe not quite that long, but pretty close. And we've all seen a lot of stuff come and go. This is actually very impressive.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
Corey's
for humans, yeah. So the plan is once we go into the Old Testament and the New Testaments, like the actual books, then I'm going to be actually trying to transfer into like a 4-inch figure line.
Sure.
And they'll have the actual bases for the giants and Egyptian gods. So we'll have Goliath, and then the Egyptian gods will have the bases with the 1/12 scale being, so you don't have to worry about the molding there.
Right.
But yeah, no, there'll be we're working on trying to get the 4-inch figures in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this comment here. I can see a David and Goliath 2-pack.
Yep.
I mean, a Samson. I can see a very blinded, bald Samson.
Oh, yeah.
mean, that would be.
You have Samson without his hair.
Yeah, and blinded. I mean, that would be a pretty cool variant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's face it, there really, other than the hair, there isn't much of a physical description given of Samson. So you'd have a lot of room there to play with. I mean,
yeah,
I don't doubt that he was a large man.
Yep, that's why I was going to use for like the bigger
right.
bucks. Yeah.
And I mean, if you were brave, you could get into almost like a prophecy line where that subject matter could be pretty expansive if you wanted it to be.
Well, that's where I think that like the third, again, this is planning down the road, the third wave of notable heroes.
Yep.
Then we can start working more like the more legendary stuff.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to open it up to the rest of the guys to see if they have any questions or anything they'd like to ask you.
Well, I want to apologize. I thought my mic was on mute. So if all that rumbling and racket, I was trying to find my Lucifer figure so I could just show it. So you're going to give me some angels to fight. So, because more collectibles come out with a very nice Lucifer figure back in the late 90s. So, and with the Lady Death line and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of the articulation, but the sculpt works incredible. But so I'm like, I know I had it because I recently got a Lady Death figure and I was going to do some pictures of it. I'm like, but as true to form with my luck, I can't find it right now. So, but yeah, I thought I was on mute, so I don't know how much racket I was making, but
some, but it's all right.
I can go to mute now and let someone else talk.
John? Shane, anything you'd like to ask?
Yeah. Have you ever worked with any other toy manufacturers before now?
Before now, not on a professional basis. No, just working mainly customizing and researching. Nothing professional now.
Sure.
Yeah, my background's in art and
that
customizing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you'd have to have a really heavily artistic mind to even consider going down this road. Holy cow.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Well, John's our resident minister, so I'm sure he's got questions. He pastors the church, so I'm
cool.
sure this is very interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm definitely interested. I think that's great. I have to admit, I'm like Dave. That wing articulation's by far the best wing articulation I've ever saw.
Thank you.
And wing articulation is really hard to do and look decent. And the pictures you showed, I mean, it's really impressive.
I have to say, I mean, I'm looking at them, and I have Daniel running in my head on a loop where the cherubim, covered one of their faces with the wings, and I'm looking at that articulation. It's we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's actually very, very cool.
Thank
I
you,
don't know, boy. I have to tell you, I don't know. It's funny. I'm sitting here talking with you and stuff. I've looked at this stuff over the last week, but you kind of get in that mode where you just shuffle, check it, figure out what you want to talk about, what you don't want to talk about, stuff like that. The more I look at this, the more actually just floored I am by it. It's actually amazing work. You really need to be congratulated first by me, because that's exceptional. From concept to what we're seeing, that's actually amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, we're working hard, trying.
Exactly. They do have that medieval feel to
them.
This is
I wanted to try to like bring in like history, like different types of histories, different type of like cultures, where you'll find like with like Michael and Raphael, and then also like original plan we were actually going to do the 7 archangels with each day of the week.
Sure.
But then we're kind of just focusing right now on just the 3 main archangels.
Yeah.
But you'll see like a lot of their design aspects will have different cultural influences as well. So a lot of medieval and Asian and Middle Eastern like style.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fantastic. Really fantastic.
I think you got a lot you can work with in Revelations. There are some of the beasts that it's described in Revelations.
Yeah.
Really awesome figures.
Yeah, seraphim and cherubim. I mean, if you wanted to deep dive, you could get into topics like the Nephilim. The subject matter. If you know your Bible, so to speak. I mean, and let's face it, there's a lot of artistic license with what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So you could really create something expansive and, well, I'll say it, stir up enough curiosity so that maybe somebody might actually pick up a Bible and see what the source of this is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hope.
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, that would be my hope, and I think that's one of the things that's exciting me the most about this. Beyond, like I said, beyond the craftsmanship and the designs that you've got going here, it's absolutely fantastic.
The character list is endless. Also,
it is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
sure.
So many you can create.
We got 2 packs, 4 packs. I mean, you do all sorts of things.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
And
I mean, talk about army builders. Talk about a line.
That's where we originally were starting. Was going to be one of the guys I was actually working with Calvin Lowe. Were saying, we should have. It was just amazing to have like a whole like ancient Hebrew army versus the Philistines, and just have them go at it. You can just and then collect.
Right. So. Throw a his tank in there,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Any plans for a play set?
So the I had an idea. The main idea of the play set right now is to it's sort of a figure carrier, like for like the old Darth Vader ones where you had like where it folded open, you have the figures in it. I wanted to do the Holy Ark. And have it
an Ark of the Covenant. That would be awesome.
No, the Noah's Ark.
Oh, Noah's Ark.
Yeah, and you put your little figures in the Ark itself.
Cool.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
it would actually.
You need a Jericho play set, so with collapsible walls.
Oh yeah,
That'd be pretty awesome, actually.
or
Yeah,
Tower of Babylon.
The plagues of Egypt. That would be a fun one for the kids.
Yeah.
That'd be good for us toy photographers too.
Well,
I ain't gonna march around it 7 times or nothing. But,
This was awesome. I'm very pleased that we got a chance to do this. And I, for one, will be promoting this because I think this is a great idea. And I'm going to be promoting this particular episode because I think it's important for people to see who they are supporting. A lot of this Kickstarter stuff, you get not much more than a press release, and a lot of the times, and that doesn't. What is that? I mean, I think that's why a lot of those are not particularly successful. But with this, I mean, you've got a small audience, but an audience nonetheless that's in your wheelhouse, so to speak. And I really think they need to start thinking about supporting this line because I think I'm going to. I think I'm all in at that $400 point because, geez, that's pretty amazing. That's an amazing bargain, period. Yeah. I mean, even if you're a customizer or you just want something different on your shelves or whatever, that's absolutely phenomenal. I'm curious. I'm actually very anxious to see what this does.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm really excited too. I'm, a little nervous, but
I can imagine. What'd you say? 6 years into it.
6 years into it, just been planning, just drawing.
And,
finally saying, you know what, this is the time. So.
And you know what? It is the time. I think for a multitude of reasons. I think the timing is just about right on this one. I got faith enough to say that for sure. So, I mean, we run a little over, but I think that was fantastic. I mean, considering the topic, it was important. And like I said, I personally will be encouraging everybody to check out this first 40 minutes of this episode because I think you're on to something, brother. I really do.
I agree with you 100%.
I think if anybody needs some wind underneath their wings, it's people like you, actually. So I think a lot of us can step up to that.
I really appreciate you guys having me on the show. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, no problem at all. We appreciate you being here. Appreciate the dealing with the time difference and stuff.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Dacre's up in my old neck of the woods. I mean, he's just across the border in New Hampshire.
Yep.
So I mean, I spent the majority of my life within about 85 miles of Concord. So
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where they have all the grapes, right? So where they have all the grapes, Concord.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, the moose eat them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, wicked cold. You know what? No, it hasn't. You can ask him. They haven't had much of a winter.
No, we had like a little bit of a snowstorm about a week ago. That's about it. So.
Yeah, my old boss from the state of Maine sent me a message the other day, said that there wasn't a pond or a lake in the state of Maine that had safe ice on it because it just hasn't been cold, which is a real oddity. So, hey, congratulations on that too, because with heating oil, man, I know some of them were upwards of $5 a gallon for heating oil. So up in the northern part of Maine. So the warmer the better, as far as I can say, for the family that I still have left there. So. Dacre, my friend, I am going to wish you the best of luck. And I am actually also going to offer that I will be praying for this.
Oh, thank you.
Because I think this needs to succeed. I think the time is right. I think, again, that you could use the propping up because anybody that dedicates 6 years of their life and time and stress and creativity, I think that deserves to be rewarded, especially where your motives are as straightforward as they are, I guess is the best way I'll put it. Fantastic. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm really looking forward to this. And I think I speak for all of us. We'll be supporting this
I will.
to whatever extent we can.
Awesome, man. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Keep us posted.
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah. I'll
We've
post
got
more in
that.
our group as well.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah. And like I said, you and I have that message link
Yeah.
going.
Oh, yeah.
So just keep me
I'll keep you
posted so
posted.
that
Yeah,
I can keep
absolutely.
everybody else up to date if
Cool.
anything should change or whatever. And look forward to you letting us know that you're successful. So
Awesome. Well, thanks
fantastic.
again, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
I'm hoping you show a post in the group, that we're in that stuff. I mean, you endured putting up my awful toy pictures, so yeah, you got to post. I look forward to seeing that you're posting some stuff where that stuff's become reality, because that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Well,
Yep.
thank
Fantastic.
You want to
Okay,
hang
buddy.
out with us?
you. All right.
You want to hang around with us? Or you ready to go?
Well, I can hang on. I got a couple minutes before the wife starts yelling at me.
Well, just put your mic on mute.
Why don't do that? Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, just if you get that feeling in the back of your neck, it's about to start. Just hit the mute button.
John's
I've got to
wife
show you the
starts out
packaging.
spooky.
Oh, yeah, let's see that. Hey, Rick, let's see the
Awesome.
packaging.
Yeah, so the packaging is gonna be an old family Bible, like old family Bible style.
That's pretty
Oh,
awesome.
nice.
And then it's got a magnetic opening on the door.
Yeah.
And it will open up with the actual character art.
Oh, nice.
I was lucky enough. I found this guy called Alexander Kuhn, Kuhn, and
Yep.
he looks. I think he did the a lot of the Dungeons and Dragons art for the books.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
they'll
Very
have
cool.
the character art there, and then we're gonna have like a blurb or a prayer or something there, and then the side will have the volume will be like a volume number, the name of the character, and then like a number or something like that.
That's awesome.
And then so that way, if you have a mint on shelf collector, you just put it right on your shelf, and then on the back we'll have your character, the main story, and the different characters that are coming out.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
We can get file cards.
Yeah. File cards and action points.
Since Hasbro don't do anymore.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
maybe they'll do flag points, or would they be cross points? And then we can send
Bible
them in.
points.
Special
Right.
mail-in. Biblical points. That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
Right.
They're gonna be in the shape of wafers.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Getting a
I
deep
thought
dive now.
actually, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's get onward and upward here. What do you got this week, John? You said
Yeah.
Rick?
How do you
I don't
follow
know.
that up, John?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
I said, how you going to follow that up today?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He wants me to follow that, right? Okay.
Okay,
Hey,
Shane,
I
it's
gotta
your turn.
follow all of you.
Okay.
I gotta
Go,
hop
boss.
off. Wife's texting.
Hey, thank you, Daker, very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Appreciate
man.
everything.
Keep us posted.
Good luck,
Yeah,
man.
we'll do.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. We had trouble getting the videos. I don't know what videos Rick was able to get. We'll just start there if you want to. So real quick, I had planned on having video footage from the Winterfest in Louisville, Kentucky, but got a little sinus congestion and ended up having a busted pipe and a couple other things, and so I ended up we stayed here. But Friday, I got the plumbing enough under control. We took a little trip to Total Nostalgia up in Trinity, so that's where we'll start out here with the video explains it. I'll let the video go now. Hey everybody, so I had some plumbing issues. Had to cancel my trip to Winterfest in Kentucky. Very unfortunate. I was hoping to have some video of the show to show you guys. Instead, I think I got my plumbing under control enough that I could get out and do a little toy hunting today. So we thought it'd been a while since we drove over to Total Nostalgia over here in Trinity, Alabama. So we come over this way today and brought a few comic books, see if I could do a little trading with them. Saw on Facebook they got in some vintage G.I. Joe stuff this past week. So we're going to go ahead and check it out and see what all they got. So come on, let's go see what they got in here. So we're checking out all the G.I. Joe stuff. They got a bunch of G.I. Joe stuff in this past week. A lot of loose stuff. Looks like some...
Legend has it, there's a place where time stands still, so that all those awe-inspiring moments Moments of aloha and that magical moment where you hug your new Disney character friend can be remembered forever. Master moments to let your legend begin at Aulani, a Disney resort and spa in Hawaii. Plus, get great savings on select
Boy, they got a lot of stuff, didn't they?
They did.
Mhm. Yeah, they bought a
Yeah,
very
so,
large collection.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I had another video. It was too long to send. And did you ever get the second video, Rick? Okay, let's go ahead and watch this one too while we're at it. Hi guys, so we headed on up to Huntsville and we hit Replay Toys. Now we're about to go into Bricks and Nancy. I'm over here. Okay, we're about to walk into Bricks and Nancy. I'm over here.
I know what she's looking for.
We're about to go into Bricks and Minifigs. Nancy, wait. You're the wrong one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we're getting donuts before we go to Bricks and Minifigs. So yeah, so we had to get donuts first. I couldn't keep her
You're
focused.
welcome,
She got to stay focused. No, so yeah, we got out and done a little ride, but we went to, like I said, total nostalgia. You guys, if you hadn't been there, I know probably everybody in this group. I know we all met up at the Nerdy Yard Sale, and but Philip and Renee, they're great people. I really enjoyed, and here's some photos of us going through. Philip was still going through a lot of that collection that he bought. This was actually a vintage AT-AT that was in absolutely beautiful condition. I mean, it was mint, and it was just, as far as we could tell, it was all complete. And he had a whole box full. He had stuff laid out in his comic side over there. He had stuff laid out everywhere.
Wow.
And he let me actually dig through some of it with him when we looked through there. Had a lot of vintage Star Wars stuff, a vintage Millennium Falcon. Had some 12-inch figures. He had IG-88. He had Boba Fett. I think he was missing a hand, and I think we found the hand in the box. But Centurions, he had some Centurions in there. And just, I mean, just it was fantastic. I mean, that's the most fun I've had in a long time. Just to be able to go through a large collection like that.
Yeah, really.
It was really neat. He had a lot of good stuff.
Cool.
A lot of good stuff. So I told the guys, I put the video on there earlier to if you wanted to see what I picked up at Total Nostalgia. I come out. I actually took some graded X-Men comics up there and done some trading with him. And he gave me a pretty good deal on them. We've done a pretty good trade. So I'll just kind of run through real quick some of the things that I got. And like I said, I hadn't really planned a lot, but I'm going to touch a little bit on the Centurion toy line after I go through it. So to start off with, like I said, when I find them, at a good price, and I'll pick them up every now and then. Some of the Kenner Batmans. So I actually picked up. Figure out where my camera is. This is the from the Legends of Batman, the Future Batman.
Yep.
Pretty, yeah. Nancy told me, she said, make sure you tilt it so you don't get a glare. So I'm trying to. She's been giving me pointers on this. Also got from the Batman and Robin, the Sky Assault Batman.
Yep.
And this is the one that come. Some of them come with a ring. There. This is the one that come with a ring. Pick those two things up. I got this is not necessarily a vintage toy, but it was a figure that I was looking for. I kind of got out of the classics, the Master Universe classics there toward the end. I didn't get any of the Super 7 stuff, and I can't remember if this was Super 7 or right at the end of the Mattel MannyCollector.com, but they had the Roton, and it actually came with I think it's called a Skelecon. It was some of Skeletor's minions from like the European comics. He come with a spear and a knife. So I didn't get the Roton, but I really don't have room for the vehicles. They're kind of big.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought that was a pretty cool figure, so I picked it up. They had a lot of Master Universe Classics figures. I had a few others that I was missing too, but I had to get in on the G.I. Joes. So I picked up as far as G.I. Joes go. And man, I don't know who you got the collection from, but they kept I don't think they ever played with the toys because they were in beautiful shape. I picked up a Steeler.
Oh,
He don't
nice.
have his Uzi,
Mhm.
but and what I liked, I mean, I don't know if you can really see it, but a lot of times the gold on the classic figures, on the vintage figures, like the handle of his gun and his underneath shirt, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's in beautiful condition.
Huh.
And usually, I think the Steeler, the swivel arm Steeler I got, it's kind of faded a little bit. I know, like the hooded Cobra Commander, the mail-in, the gold trim on him, a lot of times it's not that it's been worn off from play. It's just that it just kind of deteriorates over time. Something about that gold paint.
Yeah, it does something chemically. Yeah.
Ripper's another big one. To find Ripper where he's got the gold bracelet around his arm, it's hard to find one that's got a good clean gold finish to it. They're just it's just deteriorated over time. But I picked up that Steeler because he was in such great shape. Of course, that's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, nice.
Had this. I mean, like I said, the guy kept his toys mint. I got a mint condition. I still have my refrigerator period from when I was a kid, but he's got a little paint wear on him. This one's perfect, and he had his club. So I picked him up. Beautiful figure. I mean, there's no paint wear on him whatsoever. I didn't really need a lamprey. Of course, they're good for arm rebuilding, I guess. But I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, mint condition. But what sold me on this? The reason I picked this up because it's got an uncut file card.
Oh wow!
With the so
Nice.
that's pretty good from the. Well, that would be the mail-in because the original one come on the back of the
box, right? Yeah.
So that's kind of mad. It didn't come with a gun, but I'm good with that because, like I said, I mainly got it for the file card. So those are my Joe purchases. Shane's probably going to kill me for this one. But I could, man, when I saw this, I said, I got to get this one. This thing is absolutely mint.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I mean, you can tell you can see, I don't know if you really see it here, but the glue on the stickers is kind of, spread out a little bit. I don't know if you ever noticed that. But I mean, the thing looks like it just come out of the box.
Wow.
I mean, it's beautiful. And of course, he had Thrasher, mint condition with his club. And yes, it did actually, and that's what I was afraid of, but it did have the antenna.
Wow.
Unbroken. It's bent, but it's unbroken. You know what? Okay, I take it back. You're right. It does not have the steering wheel. I am missing the steering wheel. I didn't pay no attention.
The steering wheel and the antenna.
Yeah, I didn't even pay no attention to the steering wheel being missing. But it's so
Give it
beautiful.
a shake.
I got
Might
one.
be in there.
What's that?
I said I got
said, give
one.
it a shake.
You got a extra steering wheel?
I don't got an extra one, but I got mine.
Okay.
But I don't have the antenna.
I didn't even know. When I saw the antenna, he sold me on it because it's hard to find. It's not broken. I mean,
Very cool.
And, the same way he had a stun with the box, but the flags were in there, but they were broke. And if they hadn't been broke, I probably would have got it because it was. I mean, it was beautiful. It was mint condition and everything. So I picked up those and what else? Oh yeah. I actually he had a bag full of Centurion stuff, and I picked up actually one of the characters. I've got the 3 Centurions, Ace McCloud, Max Ray, and Jake Rockwell, but I was missing Jake Rockwell's accessories. He had a Jake Rockwell that pretty much had everything except for it was missing one piece, is a radar scanner that fits on him that he was missing. But so I got, and I see Corey's comment about the Super 7. I think, yes, I have saw those. They look like the original ones too. That Super 7's going to release.
Anybody but Super 7, though.
What's that?
I said anybody but Super 7.
Yeah. They'll be expensive. So he had that, and actually the guy must really like Jake Rockwell. He did have Ace McCloud that was complete too out of that set, but I already had him and all his accessories. So, oops, I just lost a piece off there. But he also had a bag of parts, and among that was the Wild Weasel, It's missing one of the guns, and it's missing. There's a foot pedal there, yellow foot pedal. That's the only 2 pieces it's missing. Which I'm already watching them on eBay. I found those 2. they are proud of them though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I don't know if I'll be completing them anytime soon or not, but and also he had a detonator that's almost complete. It's missing. There's 2 black struts, support struts, and there's 2 small yellow pieces that clip on here. I think that's all that it's missing. Those little yellow clip-on parts are probably going to be the most difficult to find. But I mean, like I said, he gave me a good deal on them, and I was pleased. I never had any of the add-on vehicles or anything. I just had, when I was a kid, I just had Max Ray. Green was my favorite color, and he was decked out mostly in green, so I got him. But I played. I mean, I wore that figure out. I played with it so much, with all the attachable parts. That was the gimmick. You could click. Take the parts and put them anywhere on the figure you wanted to. And so before we get into the other part, real quick, we went over to Replay Toys, and they got me. I went ahead and picked up its Cobra Asp, Python Patrol Asp in the box.
Wow.
Still sealed. Well, it's technically still sealed. Actually, the tape on this side is gotten so old.
Yeah,
It's actually popped loose. And so I did kind of peek inside, but everything's packed in just like it was when it come off the factory line.
nice.
The box is in great shape. So, and I got a good deal. Those guys at Replay, they done me a good deal on Joe's stuff there too. A lot of great people. I tell you, it's amazing that all these toy stores and all. The ones that I hit the most, the owners are just great people out of all of them. I mean, like I said, Renee and Phillip, great folks. I love seeing them, talking to them. The guys up there, I don't know the guy's name at Replay Toys, but they all seem real nice and friendly. And then, of course, after we left Replay Toys, we stopped over at the Deep, which I know Shane's going to talk about that a little bit, but I did pick up a couple of things. There too, of course, I picked up. I hadn't seen Zodak in the store, so I had to pick him up because it is a very nice figure. I really am impressed by that Zodak that they did.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, they had a couple of them. They had one hero left.
Oh, you sucker, you!
I picked him up. I hadn't saw him in the store neither. Actually, I had another guy from the group ask me if I'd seen any in the store yet, and I said I hadn't. I think the Deep had one, and sure enough, I went back and he had it. So I said, well, what the heck? I might as well go ahead and grab it. But they had some of the others, and of course, and I can show this now because I know Rick's done been there and picked up a couple, but I did pick me up a couple of Crimson Guards. I had 2 that I'd pre-ordered, and I got 2 more. They had about 6 of them. But I didn't want to be, greedy, so I left some for other people. But I do need to pick up about 2 more later on because I would like to have about 6 of them for my display. And then, of course, I had trouble finding this one on a decent card. The card's been, but I did pick up the Marvel Legends 3 3/4 Green Goblin.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm actually got way behind on these, but I did want the Green Goblin, but every time I saw it, the card was all mangled up. And they had a good card there because I'm kind of leaving them on the card because I like I'm basically getting those because of the artwork and the file card and all on the back,
Yeah.
And but anyway, that was my pickup. So
Nice.
I didn't plan to go spend money at Joe Fest, so I said, well, I got to do something with all this money now. What am I going to do with it? So,
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's a horrible lie.
But no, I did. Like I said, I traded a lot of X-Men comics with Total Nostalgia. So actually, I didn't spend any money there. I actually come away with a little bit more than I left. I went there with, but I spent it the other places, so it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're good folks to trade with too. They're very fair.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, he's done. They've done me good deals. He's done real good deals on comics and stuff. So
I tell you, if I had the wherewithal, and I mean, there's a lot to it, but I would love to have a shop of my own. But I know it actually takes years to build up to be able to actually have inventory enough to open a shop. So
Right.
it's not, it's not anything I'm going to be taking on at any time soon. But I've always thought that would be really cool. But of course, I never lived in a place where it was even remotely feasible. Now.
Sorry, guys, I got to share this one.
Me too, Corey.
Well,
Yeah, that's the only.
Corey.
Well, actually, technically, my selfie I got from Hasbro, like I said, it's if you picture me 20 years younger, I was actually that skinny 20 years.
Oh yeah,
ago.
yeah.
But yeah, if they done a selfie of me today, no, it wouldn't been nowhere close.
Yeah.
Corey, get you a Doc Ock Marvel Legends.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, that's it with my pickups. I know we went a little bit over on the others, so I mean, I could just real quick run through I just had done a little research on the Centurion since I picked this Centurion stuff up, and
Sure.
So for those who are not familiar, the Centurions was a toy line that ran in 1986, 87. It was short-lived. It did have a cartoon. There were 65 episodes of the cartoon. It ran like 2 seasons, in 86 and 87. But the second wave of figures never were produced. I mean, and I've got some prototypes here because there was some cool stuff. I really wish they could have, would have been able to get it out. So that's Max Ray, the Depth Charger, and I guess it cut off the names of the other two. I think that one on the right, okay, the Tidal Blast. The Seabat, which I've never really saw it, but it did get released. It's one of the rare few Wave 2 things that was released. But these were like vehicles or accessory packs that you could, put on them. So the Tidal Blast and then the Seabat was the other one. Like I said, I haven't even run across one of them on eBay yet. So I don't know how many of them. Apparently, didn't produce very many of them. Here you got Jake Rockwell, and of course the Wild Weasel. If you scroll on down there, we got the Hornet, the Swing Shot, which is a kind of a hard one to come by. And then of course the Detonator, and then the Awesome Auger. It's another one of those I think that was very limited that come out there at the end. Then you got Ace McCloud. Ace McCloud, the Sky Knight, and he also had another pack that had the Orbital Interceptor, and then the Skybolt. Okay. And then of course they had bad guys, Dr. Terror, and he was like half man, half machine, so you could actually pull him apart. I didn't have any good pictures of those, but you could actually take him apart. And I think you can interchange the two robot halves with if you look at the next picture, it's got Hacker. It's his second in command. So his robot side's on the opposite side. And I think you could take the two robot pieces and put them together if you wanted to, or you could swap them up. They were interchangeable to an extent. This was the drone, Sky Drone, I believe. I can't remember. The Doom Drone Straffer, I think is what it's called. This is the Doom Drone Traumatizer. You don't see very many of those either. Those were like just basically drones that the henchmen, I suppose.
Yeah.
So there were only 7 action figures that they put out.
Huh.
Unfortunately, and did you get the other pictures I sent, Rick?
This is tricky about getting it up, so hold on. Let me get it
Okay.
up.
Yeah, because I didn't realize. Like I said, it would have been great if they could have got that second wave out, because this was one of the villains from the second wave that never got released. They got a prototype.
That's cool.
My daughter loved this one.
The Cybervore Shark, which I really thought. I mean, that's really cool. And then the Cybervore Panther.
No, that's actually cool too.
Yeah.
And this was another good guy. He was Native American. Let me see. I got his Rex Charger. No, wait a minute. Excuse me. That's John Thunder. Yes, got his name in there. So he was supposed to have been in the second wave, and he and Rex Charger, the other guy I mentioned, they showed up in the second season of the cartoon. They were additional good guys, and that's Rex Charger, and all the white color glows in the dark.
Oh wow.
I think there's a picture on there of him. So this is some of the unproduced things that they planned on producing. This was the Fathom fan, and that was from the cartoon, but they never got a prototype of it. They had planned on doing that one for the toy line, but like I said, it got canceled after the first series. Video games hit real big in 1987, so it killed a lot of toy lines around that time. This is not a very good picture. It's the best picture I get, but this was an Aqua Blazer. And I think if you see on the next picture, it should show. And basically, this was like an accessory pack. These were just parts that you could attach to him. And they started doing some like accessory packs and things. This, I believe, was the Land Laser for Jake Rockwell. And again, it was like an accessory pack that they put out, or we're going to put out. Like I said, all these are unproduced. They never produced these. Yeah. But that's the pieces there that it would have come with to attach to him with the lasers. Then you got some for Ace McCloud. This was I believe, Strato Strike. That would have been kind of cool. It's kind of got the vertical takeoff and landing feature to it there. And that was pretty cool artwork on it. This I think is the Aero Assault, which was again like an accessory pack. And in the next picture, that's the parts that would have come with it had it been released. And this would have went with this would have been for John Thunder. Okay, we skipped it. Okay, the Gatling Guard. So this would have been the Gatling Guard for Rex Charger. If you see in the bottom right, you can see the glow in the dark parts.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. I hate they never got to do the second wave of those. Those would have really been cool.
My mouse likes to double click sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. That was an accessory pack for John Thunder. It's called the Thunder Knife. And it's kind of like tank treads where he'd lay on his stomach, and then I guess you had like that blade that come out on each side there. So you just go through and cut down them drones, I suppose. And then Crystal Kane, they didn't, I don't know if they ever intended on doing a figure of her, but she was one of the other characters. I just thought it was worth just sticking a picture of her up there. She's the one that, I don't know if you ever watched the cartoon, but she's the one that run they were based out of an orbital satellite. And she's the one that would beam them down and beam their equipment down to them when they would go into battle. And I don't know if they ever planned on doing a figure of her. If the series had kept going, they probably would have later on.
Right.
But I don't know. It was just a really cool toy line. And I hate that it got canceled because looked like they had some pretty interesting stuff coming out there to go with it and some new characters. But like I said, it's not hard. I mean, some of the parts are hard to find. Some of the vehicles are hard to find. But if you wanted a complete run of an actual toy line, that would be a good one to pick because there's only, like I said, there's only 7 action figures, count the drones, and then you got the few vehicle packs. So you're looking at maybe about 15 different things to get, and then you'd have the whole toy line.
Cool. No, Corey says he had Ace and the 2 bad guys as a kid. You could put the 2 robot halves together. So yeah, you were right on that. Yeah.
I passed on getting the 2 bad guys at a toy line out here back before COVID, and I could have got them at a real good price, and I passed on them, and I wished I'd went ahead and got them because now, I mean, they're most of the figures complete by they go for anywhere from $75 to $125, and then the vehicles, if you get the vehicles in the box, good Lord, I mean, some of them's $300-$400.
Yeah, I believe
it. Loose, they're not so bad, but like I said, there's the parts. Some of the parts are really hard to find.
So this was, what'd you say, 87?
86 to 87 is when the cartoon ran. I think the figures come out in 86 when the first season of the cartoons come out.
So this must have been Kenner desperately looking for a line because Star Wars had to have been really dying by then.
Right.
I mean,
yes,
had the droids and stuff like that line, but Ewoks. But yeah, they had to have been just about desperate for a big hit again.
Yeah.
just to keep things afloat. And we all know how that worked out. But
And the cartoon, I mean, 65 episodes. That's quite a few episodes for a cartoon.
yeah,
Most cartoons only run just a couple of seasons. I mean, even G.I. Joe, the original run was only 2 seasons, and then the movie and a couple of miniseries.
Right. It is funny. Marketing to kids is hard because they age out of things so fast compared to every other age group. Literally, I mean, it's just 2 years is a long time in the life of a child.
Right, it is. It really is.
I mean, you can go from 10 to 12 real quick, and we all know how that works. So yeah, I mean, that's cool though. I was aware of them, but I had kind of at that point I was graduating out of all kinds of things and moving on. You know what I mean? But I remember them. Like I said, just vaguely. I don't think I ever saw an episode of the cartoon. I don't remember it at all. So was that an afternoon cartoon or? Go ahead, Shane.
I absolutely love that cartoon, and the figures. They were way beyond their articulation was way beyond their time.
Right.
Because I mean,
they did have the, I mean the shoulder swivel. You know, kind of like G.I. Joe's. You didn't see that in large action figures like that.
No, they were way beyond their time, and I could never understand why it just ended up and stopped.
And even the legs, you know, you got that articulation.
They were hard to find on the shelves when I was a boy then too. Also,
so I'm trying to remember. I might be wrong, but isn't that around about the same time that Ninja Turtles hit?
I think Ninja Turtles were about 88, maybe.
Yeah.
I was
just curious because I remember Turtles turned the toy world upside down. Turtles killed a lot of toy lines because they were another line that was just, I mean, they took up so much space in toy aisles that. And
the series run 10 seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really a lot for a cartoon.
Well, we sat down with the boys last night and watched a new movie from the Nickelodeon version of the Turtles. I mean, it's still going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Layard and Eastman haven't had anything to do with it in decades. You know, they're just sitting back cashing the checks. But, Turtles is huge. Another one of those generational things, I guess. Changed everything for that generation. So very cool. Thank you, John. That's actually it's cool to look at that stuff, and it's neat to learn stuff because, like I said, we probably got guys in the group that are either too old or too young to have appreciated that line. So cool. Thank you. It's a good job. What you got, Shane?
Well, like John, I didn't have much time this weekend.
Sure.
But I did go by the Deep and check them out and pick up some things that Mike Matthews had put back for me. The great place.
It is cool.
And Rick's got the picture there. Their toy aisle is just stocked.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for bats, alley vipers, crimson guards, Sergeant Slaughters, the Viper 3-packs, any of that, the Ranas, they've got them, along with your Master of the Universe stuff. But, they're just packed, man. And great people, great people. These local businesses, they're great. I mean, I can't say enough about it. And Mike, he's a member of our group, Mike Matthews, and he's an awesome guy also. But I picked up a few things there myself. He had me Crimson Guard saved back. Picked up, I know there was a Rana, so I could open her up.
Yep.
Put the original hair on her. I just like the original.
Yep.
And picked up the Stratos. If you guys,
nice.
This is a great figure also.
Yeah, nice.
Got that one. And Jitsu. I had to settle for him since there was no heroes left. John. But yeah, Jitsu is surprisingly a really good figure also. Really nice. He comes with his mask here. that you can put on. Let me get in here. It's a mask that you can put over his face when he wore. It's a really nice figure. But yeah, like I said, the Deep, like all these other local people, businesses, man, support those guys. Those guys, they'll do you right, I promise. Go in there and talk to Mike and the guys around. Their toys, they have plenty of toys to pick from. Pretty much anything you're looking for, from Black Series Star Wars to DC stuff, Marvel Legends. They have a wall that is nothing but Marvel. I mean, completely Marvel if you're looking for that. Comic books. This comic book store is massive.
Yeah, it is.
That is huge. You can pretty much find what you're looking for there. And Mike, if you're looking for something they don't have it, talk to Mike. He can probably hook you up and find it for you. But yeah, it's just massive. If y'all don't know where it is, I got the address. It's for you. Anybody that's wanting to go by there, it's 2310 Memorial Parkway Southwest, Huntsville, Alabama. The Deep Comic Games and Toys. When you get there, you'll probably have to look behind the huge building that's built in front of it, because that's where the address will take you to at first. But they're right behind it, and it's great. I love that place. A lot of people say they don't like the Deep because the people are weird, I guess. But not to me, they're not weird. They're some fantastic people. Just because we look weird don't mean we are weird. Ain't that right, Rick?
I'm pretty weird, so
yeah, me
I
and
own
Rick.
it.
Me and Rick went looking today also in Decatur. We didn't find too much. Rick scored a few things that he wanted, but you can pretty much find.
Cheese, bread, and we couldn't find a mop, so
If he didn't get his mop, but the Tiger Force stuff is on there. It's out there. The cats are out there. You can find cats anywhere.
Cats are pretty plentiful. Yep.
But
It's always got to get the show.
yeah,
that's good. That's fixing to be funny because I want to bring up something that we talked about last week that Shane was talking about, and this would jog your memory.
oh my goodness.
That's it? That's what they're
Owl figure. That's the owl figure we were talking about. And there's the cat in the bread butts.
Oh, man.
That is awesome.
I think some cola, and stuff. So yeah, that's the owl figure.
That's funny.
I know we was talking about it, didn't have a point of reference at the time. But yeah, that's
I see a striking resemblance there between Alp and John and his cat.
So
I just need a bun, right?
Just need a bun. You got it.
She run off after that. She said, "I'm out of here."
Well, that's
really.
Yeah. The Racondos are out there now. The Python Patrol officers, they're there. Tiger Force Dukes, the Snake Eyes with the white timber, he's out there. You can find a lot of things right now if you're looking for them.
Right.
Yeah.
But we've pretty much got everything we need right now. That's
you got to put in the footwork.
Yep, you got to get out there and look.
If you saw Nancy's post, I got you a Tiger Force Racondo. By the way.
I did see that.
Yeah.
Bully.
It's looking like Bazooka is the hard one to come by in that wave. There doesn't seem to be as many of him showing up.
He was at first, but now I've seen several.
Have you?
Yeah, I saw 2 or 3 at the Madison Walmart in Madison.
Yeah, these Walmarts down here are never going to have anything new.
Oh, not Walmart.
I'm 100%
Target, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And the Gung Ho's and Destros, they're popping up everywhere on.
I saw one once. Yeah, I saw a Destro once, and that's it. But these, like I said, these stores down here, they've still got 90%. I swear, 90% of the toys that they had for sale at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Well, my Walmart's pegs are still full of Lady J and the Baroness.
Yeah, exactly.
Right
Yeah.
above it is a stack of Destros and Gung Hos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Up on the top shelf.
Yeah.
It's not even on the. It's not,
right.
nor
Yeah.
even neither. There just
But
ain't no room. So
I also talked to a Walmart employee this weekend in Tennessee while I was up there, and he told I was looking for the GI Joes and Masters of the Universe stuff, and he told me that they were not going to be carrying GI Joe or Masters of the Universe anymore because they're not moving at all.
Yeah, well,
So I mean, we've heard rumors of the lines dying. It could be possible. It could be very possible if these stores stop, buying because they're not moving. So,
well, I guess I think it's probably safe because it was actually an official broadcast by Emily and Lenny, I guess. And what was that on Instagram? The unboxing of the Sky Striker.
oh, it was on the Has.
Oh, it was.
Pulse. Yeah,
I never even got a notification there was supposed to be one. So I guess
I
being a
don't
member
think
doesn't
anyone
amount to
did.
much. What's that?
I don't think anyone did. I just happened to check the app one day and it was there.
Wow,
And
that's
when
nice.
I posted about Agent Helix,
Yeah.
and I kind of got in a little trouble on one page over that.
Did you?
When I said about them
Well,
talking.
don't do it again.
It was all because I didn't call the person that knows nothing about G.I. Joe by her name.
Oh, no.
Guy kind of wanted to go off and call me a sexist and stuff on that, but I'm not the only one with that opinion.
No.
I guess I'm just the only one that says it.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
She don't know nothing about this line.
Well, she's a brand manager. She doesn't care what brand it is. She's a brand manager.
To me, they need someone that knows this line to promote this line. She does not know this line.
Lenny does
a fantastic job at it.
I have to tell you that announcement was actually very disheartening to me. Helix is an IDW character that came out in their Joe universe. I'm going to say sometime around 2003 or 4, maybe.
Yeah.
She's basically a mutant, if that makes any sense to you. She has this precognition to other humans' actions. So it's almost like the Force. So she's like the super warrior because she knows what's going to happen before it happens.
Right.
For those of you that are not familiar with Helix. And somehow they decided to pair her up with Snake Eyes and whatever, I have to tell you that choice for release at this particular time is worse than Headhunter. I don't know who's. I don't know who's.
Boxes. That's all. They're just checking the boxes.
Well, I'm sorry, but the checking the boxes is right, and we don't need to go any further than that because everybody knows exactly what we're talking about. It's not good for the line. I'm sorry, but it's not. I hate to break it to Emily if that makes people happy that I used her name, but the market for G.I. Joe Classified are guys that want those characters from our childhood, right? And Helix was nowhere to be found, right? And let's face it, there's an awful lot of us that don't even care about G.I. Joe after 1988. So you got a 6-year window there that you're actually trying to appeal to, and they seem to be missing it badly at this point. That choice is just horrible. I don't get that choice. It concerns me for the line, but that's my rant for the week. We'll stay positive the rest of the time. What's that?
They've announced Shadow Tracker.
That's what I mean, Shadow Tracker. Yeah.
And I mean, he's a great character. Don't get me wrong, but he is way on in. when we've got great
boxes.
characters that hasn't been released yet. I
Yeah,
don't
we
like their
haven't even
boxes. I
scratched-
don't like them at all.
I mean, we haven't hit the halfway mark at the original lineup. You guys realize that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
They had-
We don't even have the original 13 yet.
That's what I mean. We haven't even hit the halfway mark on the original lineup. What are we doing? I mean, I don't know. I just
and
don't.
if you go to GIJoe.com, the website for them, you'll still. I mean, they still got some of the other, like the Sand Scorpion from the Valor versus Venom listed on there.
Right.
But they hadn't updated the website in over a year. They have the Cobra 3-pack on there, and that's it. That's the last thing they put on their new. But the characters they listed was it was sort of a hodgepodge of different eras. So I could see them what they were trying to do there, but it's like they don't even care enough to even update the website. And it's I don't get it. I mean,
the classified line was supposed to be based off the video game they come out with.
Yes, exactly.
right.
And the game flopped so bad. So what makes you
Deservedly
think
so.
the characters in that game we want to see? I don't get that. That's something I don't understand.
Yeah, I
Now, if that game had took off and was like fantastic, and copies were flying, I mean, you could buy the game for $7 at Walmart, man.
Yeah.
And this was a month after it was released, so
Yeah.
that tells you right there it's a flop.
As
So,
far
I
as
mean-
I can tell, G.I. Joe is the only line that Hasbro actually owns. They're not paying a stitch of licensing to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that should be up and running to the races as far as production and support. But they're still right heavy hard into Star Wars, Transformers, Power Rangers, Ghostbusters. These are all the lines that they paid huge amounts of money to get the licensing for, and now they have to chase those same dollars to try to get them back and recoup. It's like, what are you doing? Build a brand. Build the brand that you own. You've owned it forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Why is that like the redheaded stepchild? Because that's how they're treating G.I. Joe, as far as I'm concerned. I just don't get it. It's almost like they make it begrudgingly or something because they think they have to.
We
They could
represent,
easily market it
Easily.
but the line represents an old, archaic
Yeah.
sense of patriotism and country pride, and stuff. And that's just not. It doesn't check a box. That's not.
I know, man. I know. But, you got to get to a point where business sense would take over here somewhere.
right?
You would think.
Well, it's kinda like
They're
you
laying
own a
off
store.
1,000 people.
If you own a store, you want to move product, right?
That's the name of the game.
Right. If you're not moving product, you're not doing anything.
Nope.
You're going out of business soon, and that's
I know.
how this line is looking. Because let's face it, the product isn't moving as well as it was. You release new characters, they go boom, 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 boom. But once those characters are gone, you still packing them shelves with the same characters.
Right.
They're there. How many
Right.
Python Patrol Vipers and Bats did we see today?
I've seen
That's-
guys posting pictures of other groups at Targets that have them in other places across the country have them marked down now at $11 because they're not moving.
bet
They're there in number.
They have so
I
many
don't
at the
know,
Target and Decatur that they've had to move them over into the actual collectible section where they should be.
Yeah.
And there was 20 of each, Rick, 30 maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah. I
And
believe
we
it.
just kept finding them.
Yep.
It's kind of become a game with me and Rick today, finding them and putting them where they should be.
Yeah.
Found another one. Here's another one.
I don't know,
mean,
gentlemen.
they keep-
I think because of COVID hitting right when the line was launched, that especially the Target, the Cobra Island figures, nobody could find them. It was
Yep.
like almost a year before they actually got them more and plentiful enough where everybody could get them without paying outrageous prices. And I think that scared them because people was hollering, we want more. So then and the supply chain, I think, is caught up. And now all of a sudden you got just a big fluctuation of all these figures hitting at one time. Well, of course, the scalpers were buying up most of them to begin with because you couldn't find them. Right. And now that there are a chunk of them hitting stores all at once, the scalpers are saying, well, there's just too many. They're not going to be worth anything, and they just pass it by. So they're just sitting there now.
I agree with that 100%. But here's the thing and this is the point. If I could actually talk to them, like they'd care, but if I could actually talk to them, I'd use your words where you're right. When Cobra Island came out, we were literally screaming, we want more. But what did we want more of? You see, we wanted classic G.I. Joe. That's what we wanted. We didn't want this, what they're pushing now. And I'm not sure you're going to be able to convince them of that. Like I said, again, with that announcement that Shane posted, I couldn't care less if I get a Helix.
Not me either.
And as far and
because I'm a completist, but the figure to me means nothing.
Nope. Interesting character. She did, as far as I know, she's also in the continuation IDW G.I. Joe comic that picked up at 156 and just recently ended at 300. I think Helix got transferred over there. She was reintroduced and blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. I haven't read up that far yet, but I just, Corey's making a great point. Why didn't we get a Jinx figure? Why are we getting Helix? Why didn't we get a Jinx?
Yeah, if they wanted a strong female character, there's your strong female character right there.
Why didn't we get a Jinx? That's perfect, Corey, because it's exactly right. Because we needed, I don't know. I'm not against female characters. It's got to be the right ones.
Right.
And that would be easy repaint to do the Tiger Force Jinx that they done in the mid 2000s.
Yep.
I mean, they look for characters that they can do repaints of to represent figures that they put out in the past.
Right.
I do kind of agree with that. I actually like the Helix figure. I think she's cool, the character and all that. But there's a lot of other ones I'd rather had before her.
Right.
Right.
A lot of the classics.
You want a strong female character? Jinx was bad ass, plain and simple.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but why don't if we're going to be inclusive, and I think that's what we're all talking about, why don't we have a Doc figure?
Exactly. I want Doc.
Why don't we have Alpine? Right?
Exactly. We got Bazooka. Come on.
Doc is
brother, preach it.
I mean, let's get real. If we're going to pick and choose,
all in order. Button junkyard. Goodness.
Pick if you wanna be inclusive. That's entirely your right. Right? I get it. There's motivations there that make perfect sense, but you got to do it in an order that makes sense because there's tons of Jinx, Doc, Alpine. You've got so many other characters that you could, as Rick says, check your boxes with. But where are they? We're going down this, Helix road. I don't know, man. I don't want to go there with this, but you knew it was going to happen sooner or later when we start talking about the current stuff. But yeah, if I'm not mistaken, at some point in time, somewhere, somehow, wasn't there an incarnation of Doc that was female?
Yep.
It was, it was his niece. The file card said she was the original Doc's niece that come out in like the 2007 convention set.
Okay, so where is she? You see what I'm saying? Where is she?
Mm-hmm.
See, if you want to be something, be business smart about it. You know what I'm saying? This is business dumb. There's 101 ways to make everybody happy here. There really genuinely is. This Helix is a 2028 figure. Right? I'm serious. You want to see a Helix figure? We should get her somewhere around 2028 at the rate that they're releasing figures. I just don't get it. I just don't. Well, yeah, I do, but it's just not business smart. It's not in tune with the market at all. So,
And Canada still don't have any barbecues.
yeah, well, real American hero. How's that?
Barbecue is more of a southern thing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
like my
ours came with
barbecue.
white sauce. Shit. I don't know, man. Well, that left it on a positive note. How's that?
That's my
The guy
rant
at
for that.
Viper Island still doesn't have a barbecue, so that's a positive note for me. Good job, Shane.
You're welcome.
Okay, Rick, what do you want to do?
I want to dance. No,
There you go.
I did that enough in my costume. Let's talk toys. We like toys. Maybe we like toys. My man Shane here.
Love toys.
My man Shane here hooked me up with the new Red Skull, so I
There you
can do this.
That is awesome. That's awesome.
I'm gonna paint his neck, but yeah, it fit pretty well. I'll change the things on the arms to Cobra emblems and stuff, but yeah. So I did this in the 3-3, in the 3 3/4 lines and stuff, and I can't find nothing right now. So I don't know. But yeah, it worked out pretty good. The Python officer guy. The only reason I got him is because I wanted his black helmet.
Mhm.
To go with this Cobra Commander head, to go on this body and everything else. The only problem is that this is a re-release of an MCU figure that was a Comic-Con exclusive, which I missed. So I was happy to get it as a Red Skull. I still want one. If I can find another one, I want one just to keep as a Red Skull.
Sure.
But he's shorter than everything because he's like almost Black Series 6-inch thing. So he's much shorter than Marvel Legends or the rest of the G.I. Joes. So, but I think he looks cool. And everything. It worked out pretty well with, like I said, I got that Python officer just so I could get a black helmet to go with the. It's not going to focus, but
Nice.
he's a happy guy. He, so. And so a little bit of the customizing thing, even though as far as a group, that's kind of Corey's thing. I did a picture when y'all got around to not buying up all the Crimson Guard. For me, I was able to do a picture, and it's been pretty well received. The group G.I. Joe Classified Elite, made it their banner and everything else, and a lot of people's digging it and everything. And they're I did a head swap, so to use the Fred series, and I used the Marvel Legends Quasar figure for that because. Somebody told me years ago that the art from the comic book and stuff was based off of Robert Redford. And this figure's head looks so much like Robert Redford, it's not funny. So it's almost like they scanned his face. And I'm like, well, it'd be kind of perfect for that. But with G.I. Joe, everything's always drawn different, colored.
Yeah.
I mean, you never get any complete kind of thing. So, but I'm happy with it. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The Crimson Guard itself is phenomenal.
Yep.
Yeah, I did a hand swap too, so I could hold on to his helmet. But it's they really did it. The only thing I don't like about it is that midsection hinge things right there.
It is weird, yeah.
It's just big, bulky, and it's right there in your face.
Mhm.
And yeah, I cut that freaking knife off the side because I wanted to be a bit more OG, and it took up that whole side of the hip and everything. So I understand they do that so you get some articulation there in that ab crunch, but I don't know if I'd just soon have a swivel top and stuff. It's I don't know that first time I seen it that I didn't like was on the Storm Shadow. It's just this big gap of hinge right there in the middle of the figure. So to me, it throws it off a little bit, but not enough that I, was really jealous of certain people when they were finding all these things. And I was not. But at least I got my Red Skull to do my little custom and everything else. This I agree with. G.I. Joe needs a hand pad. We need different hands for these figures.
That's true.
Especially if you're doing fig photography like me, because if you'll look at, and you cannot have too many of these open hands.
Right.
So I actually bought the Bombastic bag. I actually bought the Bombastic Bag Man, found him on clearance because he comes with these hands. And you dip these guys in the little hot water. This plastic gets very soft, and you can pop these in the hose that normally you could not do.
Right.
So shortening the stem on the hands, the figure pops right in, so it's able to hold on to a helmet or throw up in a thing. It's like when you're doing figure photography, a lot of times, me and Shane were talking about this today. You look up old pictures, artwork, stuff that people did, or maybe it was a scene from a cartoon or something like that, and take Sir Panther. A lot of his pictures has him doing this.
Right.
And what did we get? We got two gripping hands. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even get a fist. We at least need a good fisting. And so but it's like, but I know there are people on eBay and stuff that actually sell hand packs.
Yeah.
And stuff, but I have worse luck with that kind of stuff, with it being just cheaply made and everything else, and snapping and breaking or whatever like that. And I, if it's kind of like the Red Skull, it was, after tax and all that kind of stuff, it was $28. Okay. You got a figure with the little cube that we've got 5 of, stuff like that, and a Build-A-Figure piece, and that's it. That's not, and it's a remake of a figure from, I think, back, in 2017 or 18 or something like that. I'm like, we're getting ripped.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, it's like I bought that Bobby figure with the Dungeons and Dragons stuff. The guy's like almost 4 inches tall with a little accessory that they call a figure, but I'm like, and that was $25 also. I'm like, I just, it makes you question the fact that you even want to keep collecting at all. And then if they start making characters that you really, now Helix, I've got the 4-inch figure of her. It's a really nice figure and just kind of interesting character. I think, they like jump the gun, but maybe they're trying to go, well, let's give a few modern and a few vintage, because they do that with Marvel Legends. They'll be like, some MCU, get some old comic book characters and some new comic book characters, and either way, people are going to complain. Fans just complain.
Exactly.
We're like, we're just like the old grumpy old women sit around the kitchen table. They complain about their husbands. They're just complaining the stuff. So, because we got our wants, there are things that we want, and we don't want to wait for them because we're old. We may not live long. I want to be able to, at least, still sit upright and do this stuff. But
right.
But at the prices, it's okay. It's one thing when saw a little hate and stuff on the Super 7 earlier and the thing, and a lot of people stuff. But the new Joe Wave, which I got and we're still waiting for. I hate waiting, but they're $50, but you get accessories you never even thought of.
Yeah.
Even the Cobra Commander comes with that neutralizer for the synthoid. Remember the episode where he made synthoids of everybody and everything
Oh, yeah.
else? Even made one of Destro, and that's what caused the problem because Destro got really mad that he would even think of making this stuff. It even comes with that little remote thing he had. So I'm like, all the accessories and stuff. So at least they're trying to give you a little bang for your buck.
Right.
Hasbro's not giving you head swaps. They're not giving you hand swaps. They're not, and it's like they're getting to the point just like, oh well, we have this. It's kind of like movie makers sometimes. It's like we have this loyal following of fans.
Yep.
So no matter what junk we produce, well, they're going to come out and buy this, or they're going to go see this movie and stuff.
No matter what.
And it's really prominent in like music. Bands will build this whole fan base and then they'll start releasing this crap. It's like, we're going back to the garage days. I'm like, well, we didn't like you then. Why are we gonna like you now?
Exactly. Right.
You know, well, we had to sell out. I'm like, no, you had to give people what they wanted. If you consider that selling out, then I'm sorry. But, and I think Hasbro's like, and yet you're completely right. They own G.I. Joe. There's no licenses and stuff.
Nothing.
So you can understand why Black Series might be $24.99. You can understand other things that are up, like even the Dungeon Dragons. They don't own that, so they got to pay a little bit more.
Right.
Spider-Man, it's Sony. They got, but not them. G.I. Joe's. You would think they could still keep that down, and if they're not going to, give us some freaking accessories.
Yep.
You know, but they're playing that because this new 2-pack, I think we talked about in the group, I think it's going to be green shirts. And they was talking about it's going to be for Aaron and Steve. They're going, these 2-pack, either going to be male or female or 2 male, to how they're going to do it. So you watch and see, it's going to come with jetpacks because the jetpacks, Gridiron Studios and all them are already making it. I can't, it's against my religion. Since we've talked about religion so much today, but it's against mine to spend more money on accessories than I do the figures itself.
Yeah, right.
that Gridiron thing, man, that stuff it's like next level. It's not. It's better than the product you're buying it for because them guys are just killing that everything else. But they're they're small, so they're a little bit proud of their stuff and the prices and everything else.
True.
Them and a few others have already doing these jetpacks and stuff. Fans are eating it up and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that's exactly what. So that gets your land, give you a few guns, maybe a head swap or two, and then the jetpacks. Well, there you go. So they're going to charge you $80, $79.99, and you're going to pay for that. And so, and that was that way back in the whole time with the mall babies or whatever that kind of stuff was. Remember that was on that list? That's exactly what that's going to be. That's going to be that 2-pack of the green. We've got Cobra Vipers, we got Cobra Troopers, we got Python Vipers, all that kind of stuff. But we got no army builders for G.I. Joe. And for them to they can't keep making individual G.I. Joes because that's a new sculpt each time. So you take the buck body of like Stalker, that's just your basic G.I. Joe run-of-the-mill grunt. I mean, in the original 13, there was very little difference between them.
Grunt, Zap, Hawk.
Yeah, that's what made that's what made that Flash character in the original 13 so unique because it had the little chest panel in the orange and all that kind of stuff. And then you had Snake Eyes, and later Scarlet came through and it was like different. But the rest of them, you could swap heads and everything, and you never know that.
There was only 3 different heads,
except for maybe the boots were a different color, or maybe the straps. Sometimes they were brown, sometimes they were black, blah blah, and stuff. And it was like there for some of us old ones. We remember our main difference was one had swivel arms and one was straight. So
right.
Like, you still got straight arm G.I. Joes? What are you, poor?
Right.
I got the swivel now. I'm like, yeah, it's like the Kung Fu grip back in the old days. But yeah, it's just like I said, but they're not giving I think that's a trend. My daughter visited today, and she brought Taco Bell. The tacos were very skinny. I mean, they were anorexic.
shrinkflation.
Yeah, they're cutting the portions.
Yeah,
And I know they do that.
shrinkflation. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's and that last time the Taco Bell did this, my girlfriend had worked for them, and they had raised the minimum wage. Well, they did all that to try to save back some money and all that kind of stuff before they raised the prices of everything. Because they had a big long list of dollar menu stuff and all that stuff, and it went down to like 6 from like 15, stuff. So, and I know the principle starts a long time ago with the olive company in Italy. They saved millions by taking 1 olive per jar out of that. I'm sure y'all probably heard the stories.
Yeah.
But the guy saved the company millions because they took out 1 olive. And I'm like, so now they're like, well, instead of a portion of 6 ounces, we're going to go to 5. So again, they're going to charge you the same amount of money. Because I seen a bar of soap commercial, old one. I'm like, it was the size of the man's hand, and now they're like, and they got the groove cut in them, so it's even less.
Right.
And I'm like, so you're paying more to get less.
Yep.
And if the toy collecting, which is, it's a I don't know, my vocabulary's failing me here, but it's something that is an indulgence. So, and if it's no longer worth your thing, then it's going to have to be a character that you just dang well just want that in a 6-inch line. I'm like, other than that, you're like, I can just, it's like me and the Python things and the Tiger Force. And I don't care if I find them or not.
No, I don't either.
When the regular OG bazooka comes out in his red shirt, I'll be,
all
like
over
like John's video, I'll be stealing it from kids if I have to.
Yep.
Like Shane, I may kick them. Twice.
Once when they're up and once when they're down.
John, I'm disappointed you didn't share that tonight. That was freaking hilarious.
That was
it's on the way. It's in the group.
This is worldwide. This is everywhere.
Oh yeah, all 7 continents and Guadalupe.
We'll put it on
everybody watching that's not in the group. John did a thing with his kid, which did outstanding job. Tell that young man he did.
Yeah, he did a good job. Marshall's great.
They did a little skit where John runs up to him and steals a GI Joe from him and stuff because he was getting it for his buddy Shane. It's hilarious to watch stuff, but that's the group thing, our Facebook group, because none of us got no sense usually. But yeah, I was disappointed out amongst the videos that none of them are yours. And Shane, your pictures just now came from my email.
I do have to give Nancy and Marshall credit. They're the ones that had the idea for the video.
It was a good idea. It was great. They did a great job.
Yeah,
Nancy's the one that told him to get down on his knees and scream out.
Our number one groupie is awesome. We got it all.
She's the one that posted the video, so I don't even have it.
She knows how to find donuts.
I sell them too.
Yeah, I've got to get up there in costume and go in there and do a skit. But I don't know if y'all seen where the company called Squash Nut or something, if I remember, they. My friend that shot that video, she posted in her, so they're going to endorse. I guess you'd say endorse us and send us product and stuff to actually shoot in video. So it's going to be kind of fun. So I may want to do all that and go to Bigfoot Donuts at the same time, put it all in one video stream just to have fun, all that kind of stuff. So when do I get? So I wish Walmart would let me go or Target let me go Joe shopping in my costume or something. I know they won't let me in my Jason costume because I've tried. Even being accompanied by Morgan, by sheriff's deputies, they still won't let you. It's like scaring somebody or something. I'm like,
really?
Yeah, it's just because they're afraid of masks. You can't wear a mask in there.
Yeah, but you're required to have a mask to come in.
Yeah. There's a picture I've got that I even put on one of them COVID masks above my hockey mask, and I tried to. I'm like, well, I'm wearing my COVID mask. It didn't work.
Oh man.
So but yeah, back to the toy thing. It's really getting where you buy it, and I think that's going to serve their purpose with their plastic-free packaging. You're not really going to know how disappointed you are until you open it. And you get
Yeah,
home.
exactly.
You go ahead, that's all you came with. I mean, it's like, come on now, and then you get like those Crimson Guards. They got backpacks and swords and guns and pistols and all that stuff. So, that's a good deal. You feel like you got something, but the
Right.
Marvel Legends, they're getting really skimpy and they're putting too much weight on the Build-A-Figure and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to cost them. But I wish they'd do a Build-A-Figure of G.I. Joe, because I think it'd be a good way for us to get a Snake armor.
Snake armor would be great.
Mhm.
Yep.
But they'd have to release, at least 4 or 5, figures at the same time.
Sure.
In order for everybody to do the Build-A-Figure. Of course, now McFarlane,
McFarlane.
they have split up their Build-A-Figures like over different series. They'd release a couple of figures, a few pieces.
Yep.
6 months later or so, release
Quarterly
and stuff. So,
Yep.
And me and Shane run across and seen some more of the figures with that Solomon Grundy Build-A-Figure, and I want that figure, but I just don't want to spend $100 for it.
It's hard. Yeah.
But I've seen them being sold online and like $80 and so. So I'm like, and that's without an extra figure. So I'm like,
Yeah.
And the only shining light on that is that penguin figure. That's an impressive figure. I've only seen the reviews and pictures, but that just seems like they really, really did a good job on it.
And I still can't find the Catwoman. I haven't been able to find one.
I haven't seen one of them. I've seen the Goahoo and the Batman and that.
Ra's al Ghul and the Batman are the ones I keep seeing. The one penguin that I've seen, I bought. But I have not seen Catwoman. So I don't know. I can order her from McFarlane direct for $19.95 or whatever, and that's what I'll end up doing. But
yeah, every now and then companies will release a Build-A-Figure by itself.
Yeah,
kind of like they did King Shark.
Yep.
Set in Norway. I freaking loved him in the movie and everything. It was just hilarious. But yeah, that's getting all hacked up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the whole that whole accessories and getting your money's worth out of stuff that seems to be changing for me too. And it was kind of I quit collecting years ago because I started raising kids and all that kind of stuff, and money just it need to be spent somewhere else.
Right.
But I still like to do. Back then, I got to admit that's how I got my flag. Is I got it at a yard sale for like $25.
No kidding.
And it was missing a couple of pieces, but I didn't care. Stuff like that, and because the one I had as a kid, it was too big to go in the room in my house, so it sit in the backyard. I worked all summer, mowed grass in order to buy that.
Yeah.
And it's sitting rotted in the backyard. It rained and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And my dad was a pastor, and they kept moving us. So the last time we moved, it just stayed in the backyard because it was too muddy and all that stuff, and wouldn't allow. And I got another one as an adult and stuff. And it was so brittle that every time we'd move, because in the service you kind of move a little bit around, every time you'd move, it'd get something to break. Everything's just like my Pterodome I looked at the other day, and the gun thing on his been bashed in and all that stuff. So I went on eBay, and like John said, they proud of this stuff on it.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, good Lord, so and I need to take some lessons from you guys and still get it out and clean it, because it was in the house back in the day when I was a 4-pack a day smoker. So everything from those days has this nice yellow tint.
Right. Yeah.
So and some almost brown tint, and so but I need to get it out and clean it and stuff. And I'm just kind of afraid to touch it. It just looks people roll their eyes and they see where my collection is. It's all stuck in storage, and it gets all the heat and cold and all that, and covered in dirt and bugs. And I'm like, I don't have a space to I'm
Right.
surprised what's behind me's out. You know, it's
Right.
typically that alternates between what I'm taking pictures of and what I'm not. Most everything that sits on the shelf is either going to be in a picture or has been in a recent picture, but other than that, they go in totes.
Yep. Well,
And but so it's like I enjoy the collecting and all that stuff and the photography, and I've got bought action figures to shoot that I haven't yet. So I got plenty enough to stay in the community, even if I quit buying new toys
sure.
tomorrow.
Right.
So, and I hope I don't, because there are figures like airtight and sci-fi and stuff that I desperately want in 6-inch scale. You know, I want to see them guys. You know, stuff. So, and I'm probably more excited about getting the shipwreck coming up and the cover girl, just so I can do some funny pictures between those two, because they always had that little funny thing in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Stuff. So I mean, to me, Shipwreck was on the lines of like Deadpool. He was just the Joker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He could throw down and fight, but he was still kind of the funny guy always.
Mhm.
So I look forward to that and everything and all that stuff. But yeah, that's about all the rambling I got and stuff like that.
Yep.
I've been working on trying to get the transition smoother with stuff, but
Oh, you're doing a good job.
but they don't make it easy with this StreamYard and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It'd be easier if we were paying for it, but you know, I don't know. I ain't ready for that because I think it's serving us for the time. It was good to get the guests in, all that kind of stuff, and everything. So that's all I got. I'm quite done yapping.
Yeah, that's about it for tonight. Anyways, honestly, we're at 2
If you'll,
hours. So
If you check your messenger, I sent that video to you. I don't know if you got it or not.
Well, let me see if I got it. I think it'd be funny to
yeah, it's only 30 seconds long.
we could finish this off with John's jumping cracker smokes, man. It ain't it doesn't do right sometimes. This whole there we go.
Corey said earlier that we all needed to get together and hunt together and film it. Oh Lord, would that be something? Me kicking a kid while John's pushing him down. I'd definitely do it.
Wow. Yeah, that would be funny. Let me get this up here.
Poor Marshall.
See if this
There it is.
no sound.
Oh,
Let me
come on.
He absolutely sold it.
Y'all did awesome, man.
That was great. Yeah.
And he said right before he hit his knees, "Hey, that was mine."
It's funny because right after that, the girl trying to sell AT&T come walking up. Nancy thought she done got in trouble. She thought it was a Target.
Nice. Another great week. Just as a reminder, t-shirts. If you want to see us get more involved and doing shows and stuff like that, then that would be a big help. So
in case anybody's wondering, what few dimes that we make off of that is going towards buying the banner.
Right, exactly.
We can have a banner and stuff to put at shows.
Right.
So I mean, and we've got it reduced to the price that we're making probably 50 cents a shirt. That's all.
Yeah, exactly.
The fundraiser's designed to make a lot of money, but that wasn't the point. But they didn't give us an option, so I put it as low as it could. So if we sell everything, we're probably going to make about $60.
Exactly.
Which would be enough to buy a nice banner for us to use at the toy shows and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. So
ain't no like Shane's going to like go out and go on
Right.
vacation on our money. Sorry.
Right. So
or buy
I
toys.
get it. I get it. The way things are, a little suspicion is a good thing, but
Right.
this isn't. Nobody's getting rich off this. It's going right back into the group for a banner. So,
Yeah.
you know,
We're all about this group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah,
all
we're not.
four of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no money being made here either.
Yeah.
We're all doing this because we want to.
In fact, we're all out of pocket personally for each
Yeah.
thing that we're buying
Yeah.
stuff, microphones and all that
Yeah.
stuff to do this. But it's a
Right.
labor of love, and we're good with it.
Yeah.
So,
So
And we're doing it for our community, you know.
Yeah.
This is y'all podcast. That's why we're asking people to come on as guests and
Yeah, exactly.
Feedback.
Right.
We want feedback, you know.
Right.
All these comments over here, that's what we want. We want more of them.
Yep.
Heck, we may even get to where we just want to talk to everybody that's commenting. And that's what we want with our community.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And we've got other plans for future fundraisers that we're going to talk about, you know, like for maybe raffling off some things or whatnot like that.
Right.
To make money. We've got some ideas for donating to, you know, certain causes. So, I mean, that's what we're going to do with this stuff.
yeah. So ultimately, that's what it boils down to. This group will be exactly what you all decide to make it.
Exactly.
All right, because I mean, let's face it, we're the four of us sitting here right now are doing what we can.
Right.
The rest of it is entirely up to the rest of the group. It will be exactly what you want it to be.
Right.
It will be, you know, a flourishing thing that starts to make a difference and actually builds a community, or it'll die on the vine. Whatever you guys choose to do with this is exactly how this is going to go.
Right.
And so, but you know, like think about a T-shirt, and again, I'd recommend going back and watch that first interview a couple of times and really check out what's being designed and made there with Dacre. And you know what, guys, seriously consider that, because
Right.
you know we did our ranting and raving and everything else about you know, against Big Toy tonight. But you know what, the future of collecting may not be direct to consumer by the large companies. It may be direct to consumer by small guys like Dacre.
Yep.
So something for you to think about. So great job this week, guys. Let's hang it up, get some rest, and get ready for next Monday night, right?
We will, folks.
Later.
Have a good night.
Later. Good night.